Hi. If you're a speaker, invariably when you are asked to present, perhaps over the telephone or by email, the organisers would like to know a little bit about you and what you are going to speak about. And they often request that you send them that information via email, or in other words, in some way get the information to them. But just as invariably, by the time you get there, they'll have lost that information or mislaid it, or perhaps changed emcees and he or she doesn't have that information. So rather than having to go through it all again and sit next to someone who's going to ask you questions, I always take with me an introductory sheet in my inside pocket of my jacket. Here's the sheet, folded 3 ways, and I always have a copy of that in every sports coat jacket, every suit jacket that I have, because when I turn up at the meeting, invariably they'll say to me, "Oh, we don't know what you're going to talk about," or "Could you tell us a little bit about yourself before we introduce you?" Give them the sheet of paper. Have it made out in advance. I always do. And it's simply a matter of upgrading it as time goes on. You can keep the same piece of paper as a file on your computer, and as things change, you can change the file. In other words, change the piece of paper, the information on the paper that you're going to give to the MC or the person who's going to present you. Another thing I noticed, the last 2 meetings I've gone along to, there has been not great troubles, but a few troubles with the handheld microphone. What I usually do is I sit back in the audience. Sometimes I sit at the side, sometimes right at the front, and I'll watch those speakers who are speaking before me, whether they be guest speakers or whether they be just conducting some business. And I will notice how close or how far away they're holding the microphone. Yesterday, I was watching them, and of course the microphone gain must have been turned right down because they had to hold it within a few inches of their mouth and turn it almost as if they were going to eat it before any sound came out of it. That was worth noting, because when I got up to speak, I could, having taken notice of what they were doing, have no trouble with the microphone myself. Today it was a different story. Someone had turned up the gain far too high for the little room in which the meeting was being held. There was feedback, there was screeching, and it just didn't work at all. You had to hold the microphone somewhere down near your waist and talk quite softly for it to work okay. Now, I'd watched that again with the speakers in front of me, so I had no trouble. Just a couple of little tips there. Always have some information to present to the MC. Have it with you at each engagement, and also watch very carefully the behaviour of the microphone, whatever speakers are having to do to make it work. I hope you got something out of this little video on speaking to audiences.